Good morning, everybody. Got your coffee? I got mine. So listen, before we get to it, I need to thank a couple of people. Peggy, Bethany, thank you for sending a little love our way. And Nicole, dear Nicole, who thought I was talking about her in another video. No, baby, I wasn't talking about you. The person that I was talking about is actually gone. She's no longer with us anymore, and she's been blocked. But that video was just for anyone else who was thinking along those lines. The video that we were talking about was people who withdraw their support because I have hard conversations that hit them in the feels. And you know, while we are on that topic, by the way, also too, not you, Nicole, you cannot buy your way into these conversations as an other. When I'm talking to black people, I'm talking to black people, and I don't care what you have done for that curbside community and pantry. I will always be thankful for people giving me the ability to help. But if you think that your donations buys you into these very nuanced conversations that I'm having with black people, think again. I have sent donations back for that reason. And that's the truth. Also too, Shirley, thank you so much for sending some love my way. About that dolly, someone else, another generous donor, bought us a dolly, and I had one because it was on a Black Friday special, and I did research for it and everything. It collapses. It wasn't too heavy. I could break it down and put it in, the back of my car. When you offered to buy us one a couple months ago, I didn't need one. At least I didn't think I needed one. So I didn't want you to think that I was rejecting your offer, your generous offer out of pocket. That was before we decided to go around to the seniors, and then we decided to do that, and then we said, yeah, we're gonna need a dolly, because I was like, where am I gonna put another thing at? I have no more storage room in this house anywhere. And that's why I wanted one that collapsed, one that was easy, and one that had great reviews, and someone offered, and we have a dolly, and it'll probably be here tomorrow. But thank you so much. I just wanted to let you know that. I also too wanted to address some other things that were brought to my attention, and the whole thing about Thanksgiving. I didn't want you all to think that I was being dismissive about Thanksgiving. I know that you all are some very, very generous souls. And I myself, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving because I really am someone that is great at accepting truth, even truth that I don't like. And I have done a lot of reading, a lot of research. I've had a lot of conversations, have exchanged a lot of dialogue. And I know what this holiday is at its core. I accept it. I will not try to get around celebrating it, make myself feel better about celebrating a genocide because I want to call it something else or pretend that it's something that it's not. And that's just how I stand on that truth. And I don't, whatever other people do, that's y'all business. But I can't be a hypocrite like that in that way. I can't do that. And the same goes for Christmas. I know that y'all have brought that up. And I want you to know that I thought long and hard about it, because I thought, am I bringing my shit, my personal shit into it and denying others? I am not a Christian. I don't celebrate Christmas. I haven't celebrated Christmas in a very long time because I am not a Christian. And it doesn't feel right in my spirit to put things in the curbside library and pantry. First off, we don't have the room. And secondly, I understand that there are poor people who are Christians that celebrate this holiday, and they could use a little relief. But it goes kind of deeper with me, past the point of religion, being spiritual based and not religious based. It's not just that it's not a religion that I don't participate in, because I don't have a problem with people, if being a Christian makes you a better human, go for it. But if I were going to participate in any way in helping people, other poor people who are religious, who are Christians, I would have to say, just send more things that are on the wish list, things that are actually needed. I don't mind family game night, because I think that it's a great way to bring family together, to keep kids occupied, to give them a new experience other than electronics and devices. And I think that is helpful to parents who will actually want to spend quality time with their children. So I don't mind those, as I would do those all throughout the year. And as you all know, I have been. But I don't believe also in the gross commercialization of this holiday, the gross consumerism of this holiday, the way people, society, the way we get into debt because of this one day, and what it says about us as a people, going into debt, trying to impress people who actually don't even give a fuck about us, while making conglomerates and corporations and companies rich, billionaires richer. It is my personal opinion that billionaires shouldn't even exist. Not when there is this level of poverty within this nation. And that's just my opinion, and it is what it is, and that's how I feel about it. So I just wanted to give those of you all who were bringing that up a little bit more of my point of view. If you want to help people with shit they actually really need in order to get through and survive, that's what you can do. But shit that people don't need, things that make rich people richer, things that these kids won't even remember, December 24th or 25th, 2025, I don't feel good about. With all that being said, this whole library pantry, I'm in the back doing the new one, so it's on my mind a lot. And this week we're not going to be able to do the boxes on Wednesday because my husband has to work, because Thursday he's off because of the holiday. So we won't be able to go around for the seniors until Saturday. And with all this library pantry focus, it's been an amazing experience. It has. I thank you all so much for allowing me to be able to do this, because it's amazing. It is. And I always want to be fair, and I always want to be mindful. And and I'm human. I don't always get it right, and I own that. But I was thinking last night, and the one aspect of this that becomes more obvious is the way in which internalized racism comes into play when it comes to that library pantry. What I had to do in order to get black folks to start taking those books and reading them, and what I had to do to just get them to utilize the resource when so many people in this very large area need it. It's clear. I have gone to community meetings and I have heard some of the elders say that they cannot afford the tickets that what do you call those people? Code enforcement. Because I don't know how they do it where you are, but code enforcement, we actually have cameras on our garbage trucks. Do y'all? Like cameras that help identify, they take pictures of properties to identify properties, and then code enforcement comes and they put down the notices and then they write the tickets. Isn't that shitty? I think that's shitty. I mean, people who maybe live in HOA or communities might love that, but most people who live in HOAs can afford that. But people who live in these type of communities, working communities, retirement communities, they can't afford that. And I have heard people in those groups say that I only get $700 a month, or I'm on a fixed income, or I can't afford to have my stairs fixed, or I can't afford to have my roof fixed, or I can't afford to have the plumbing fixed. And and I see where people are on the community chatter board and they say they need diapers or they say they need furniture. I know that people need the resource, but people, I don't know if it's because they didn't want to be seen needing the resource, but who was never afraid to come help themselves in their luxury SUVs to this little library pantry and take the resource? It was white people from other communities. Now, don't get me wrong, I ain't got a problem with white people taking from this resource. They just have to live within this community. And we have some that do live in this community and they do come to the curbside library and pantry. That's not the issue. The issue is when you have white people who have more resources, who live in communities that have more resources, coming to this community that lack the resources and taking from the people who live here, who need the resources. They come here and they treat it like a vending machine. They take out all the snacks, hoo, hee, or whatever else that might be helpful or beneficial. They don't need it. They do not need it. Hence is why they come and clear out all the kids' snacks and treat it like it's literally a vending machine while driving Cadillac Escalades and Lexus SUVs. I've seen it. We don't get that so much anymore because for some reason, even though you say you have cameras, I don't know. It's just the entitlement. It'd be mind blowing. Like, bitch, I can see you. So now, I've gotten rid of those particular people, and they haven't been back. And this resource is mostly used for this community, as it should be, as it was meant to be, no matter what color they are. We have white, we have Latino, we have black, but as long as they are in this community, we're good with it. It's not just a black thing, it's a community thing. Always have been, always will be. But getting black people, and I told you that way before I started this, I would have conversations over on TikTok. Because, I don't know, I'm really fascinated about human nature. And one of the things that I have noticed about people within my community, within the black community, one of the ways that we cope with poverty, black people, I read a paper on it years and years ago that kind of said sort of the same thing. but much more. They articulated it a lot better than I'm about to do it. But one of the ways that I have noticed that black people cope with being poor is that we pretend not to be poor. We do. We do. Which is why you will see a $60,000, $70,000 SUV parked outside the home of a $40,000 home. That math ain't mathing. And then when people come out, they're dressed to the nines. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to, no disrespect to anybody, but they're going to their jobs at the Dollar Tree or Dollar General. You know, or they're doing nefarious things in order to afford things that make them feel better about themselves. You know, those are the people that I always feel the saddest for. Because, you know, when you live long enough, hopefully, you realize it ain't even that deep. It ain't never been that deep. I mean, it's one thing that if you working and you're getting all those things with your own cash, that's one thing. But when you taking advantage of, finessing, scamming, deceiving, robbing other black people in order to have things that make you feel better about your existence on the planet, I feel so sorry for you. I do. Especially when you're willing to risk your freedom for it. Or you willing to take another life for it. Those are the worst kinds of people. Willing to sell yourself out for designer goods because you want other people that don't even give a fuck about you really to see you as something that you not really. That's sad. That is the saddest story. One of the saddest stories ever told. It's even sadder than the people who make billionaires and millionaires even richer. Folks that don't like them and respect them either. Because they want to be seen as being able to afford luxury and or high-end goods because it makes them feel better. I don't know. This is why it's so important for us to connect with ourselves, with our real inner selves, with our souls. This is why you have to have a soul tie with self. We talk about soul ties with other people, you know, in spirituality, but the strongest soul tie that you should have with anybody on the planet shouldn't be with your partner. It shouldn't be with your kids even. It should be with yourself. It has to start with self. The stronger your soul tie with yourself is, you know, then that's when you can extend those soul ties to the other people that you care about and love and who are deserving of those parts of you, those pieces of you. People who encounter me in my real life, I don't know, they always find me so confusing. They don't really know what to think about me because I don't care. I don't care. I genuinely do not give a fuck what my neighbors think about me. I genuinely don't give a fuck what some stranger thinks about me. I genuinely don't give a fuck about what some Christian thinks about me. I genuinely don't give a fuck about what some white person thinks about me. I genuinely don't give a fuck about what men think about me. I genuinely don't give a fuck. Because none of us are going to escape this. None of us are coming out of this alive. We're all going to die. We're all going to die. And it is my decision, and I stand on it, that out of all the mistakes and all of the fucked up shit that I have done in my life, when I take my last breath, I want to say that I try to make a real effort to be better and be the best version of myself that I can be when I take my last breath. And that shit is important to me. And I can't do that making other people richer. I can't do that making other people happy. You can't make other people happy. You can only make yourself happy. We're responsible for our own happiness. We're not even responsible for the happiness of our children and our partners. They're responsible. Once your kids get a certain age, they are responsible for themselves. And if you marry whole, complete people who are also committed to becoming the best versions of themselves, they already know that they are responsible for their own happiness. That the best way that they can be a good partner to you is to make sure that they are happy. And then you'll both be happy if you both doing that inner work. That's just the real of it. But do I give a fuck about what my neighbor think? No. Do I give a fuck about what some Christian thinks because they go to church every Sunday? No. Do I give a fuck about what some random white person thinks about me and my blackness? No. And when I tell y'all that shit is freeing as fuck, I don't care who looks, points, and laughs. Because I know who I am. And I'm proud of me because I have gone through a lot. And the one thing that I can say is that it did make me better. If you would like to support my platform or buy me a cup of coffee, I'll leave my Cash App and Venmo down in the comments. Y'all have a good day.